Atshim Yahava Alahim, Shalom Ad Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Today's party is brought to you by Nam Dehum. Today's party is called Evidence in the Work. We get together 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about ethics in entrepreneurship. We have an ongoing battle against ignorance, and now we have a new enemy called indifference. I've identified the enemy called ignorance as a 2,000-ton gorilla. I've seen indifference as a cloud, like a miasma. Even though they seem like hard opponents to take on or even defeat, there is a way to defeat both ignorance and indifference. Everyone alive on the planet is affected by ignorance and indifference, whether we show it from ourselves or whether we witness it through other people. It doesn't have to be there. Is there a way to physically change the channel on your television set? Can you actually walk up to the frame of your television? Do you know where to push up or down for the channels, up or down for the volume? Push the button for the menu. Push the button for the options. El Menor de Bronx. Bienvenido, I see you. Red Baron, I see you. Atshim Yahava Alahim, Shalom At Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're having a party talking about evident work. You ever been on a team and everyone was expected to do something, and when you turned in your work, it was obvious who didn't show up to do their work? That's what we're talking about today. Today's party is brought to you by Nam Dehum. And if you don't know, Nam Dehum is a curatorship. When you own your product and you gather your content together, you have a portfolio. If you have a portfolio, you can put your wares on display. When you do so, you can put it under protection of those who can publicize for you, or you can do so yourself. The power is in your hands. The same way that you show selfies all day and what you had to eat is the same way that you can show what your personal product or service is. SB 1962, SB 1962. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalamat Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for being here. We're going to be talking about evident work. When you put in a group project and you have to turn in that project, it's evident who actually put forth the effort. When you turn in something yourself, if there's something that is expected a certain way and you put forth your effort, it will be evident whether it's up to par. TikTok AI says discussing ethics and entrepreneurship, addressing ignorance and indifference. Very correct, TikTok AI. Thank you for the summary. We get together 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to speak on ethics and entrepreneurship. Our focus is now on battling ignorance and indifference. There's a lot of misleading information. There's a lot of outright misinformation. Which causes ignorance. There are people who speak at the top of their voice about things and they are misguided. They didn't do the proper research to find out the truth, but they want to argue with people about it. Deb, I see you. Shall I call you Didymus? Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalamat Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. In Hoj Talks. Adrenaline. I see you all. Thank you for being here. Bienvenuto. Welcome. Hashem Yahav Alahim. Shalamat Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for being here. You may be wondering, what are these squiggly lines that you see in front of you? You can kind of make out a picture, but not quite. This is a bookshelf. These are books. These are the spines of books. These books represent the volumes of Mafia Files comic books that have been put together in composition notebooks, waiting to be transferred into digital format and placed out as films. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 volumes. Yashir Akbari, I see you. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalamat Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for being here. Tada. Shukran. Gracias, grazie. Grazie, grazie, molto grazie. Spasibo. Ashante. Thank you all for being here. Betty Boop, I see you. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalamat Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for being here. Waiting for a few more familiar names and faces to come through, and then we'll start the party. If you didn't know, Namdehum is the name of a group that takes care of curating. The buzzword for curating now is someone who's responsible for putting music on popular playlists. That's not what a curator is. A curator can tell you all the happenings inside of a library. A library contains all types of media, not just music. If you said someone's an artist, well, you'd also say a musician is an artist, because an artist could be a sculptor, a painter, a musician, a dancer, a singer. And then there's artisans, people who are skilled with their hands. Some people aren't actors on the stage, they built the scenery. Some people aren't necessarily builders. However, they have certain accents with things that they pick up, so they might work the lights. They know how to move the lights a certain way to capture the right highlight. There might be someone working the soundboard. They may not be the best at instruments, or they may be one of the best, so they can pick up certain sounds. They're listening for the acoustics in the room, or even if you are outside, how full can you make that sound? Those are artisans, and that's just talking about within the art village. Because you could go into technology, you could go into weaving textiles, you could go into agriculture, and all of those same steps are involved. There are some people who are skilled with tilling up soil and placing the seeds and getting them set, watching over them to make sure when they're properly watered, watching over them to see if they do have mineral deficiencies, so they're checking what they put in the soil to make it fertile. Others are more skilled to watch and wait for that plant to mature and know when to harvest it. And then there are some who know what to do with the plant. Once the needed part has been harvested, you still have the castaway. It could either be casted away to rot, or it could be used for other purposes. That's a network, that's a system. That might not be 5 people, that might take 20. And all of them should be considered artisans. A bricklayer is an artisan along with the team. Someone is mixing the mortar. Someone is putting the mortar into those 5-gallon buckets and placing 2 or 3 of them in a wheelbarrow at a time, wheeling it over to the person who is standing on the scaffolding, lining up the bricks, smoothing out the mortar, placing things where they need to go, merging them. Those are artisans. It takes someone to unload the ladders off of a truck or a van, and all of the paint and all of the equipment, the brushes, the rollers, the drop cloths. It takes that person just as much as it takes a person to cut a straight line, to trim out spaces where you might have 2 different colors and you want it to be a straight line. It takes a special hand to do that. It takes someone in a certain range of skill to be able to roll out the walls so that there's not paint splattered everywhere. It takes a little bit of intelligence to clean out the rollers and the paintbrushes at the end of the day in order to make sure that you can use them again. Those artisans are skilled. It takes a special set of skills to clean a house. It takes a special set of skills to manicure a lawn, detail a car. It takes a special set of skills to operate on a person's body, their anatomy. to see what could be ailing them, and then just tell them what type of food to eat or what type of exercising and stretching they should do to involve more movement in their life, more activity. So when you show up and you say that you're on a team, yes, it's evident the type of work that you have put in, because we all don't show up with the same talents and skills. We stand out because of that. Each and every one of us is unique because we have different talents and skills. I see Jenna Banana, MWA Wyatt, Miss Herman Pick, Kid Richie, Abigail Rose, Ghost Stalker Gaming, Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalamat Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy to all of you. Jeremiah Smith, including you. Bienvenido, welcome. Thank you all for being here. We get together 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to discuss ethics in entrepreneurship. There's actually 10 different special interest groups that we speak on. Monday through Friday, there's one group per day, so this takes 2 weeks. On Sunday, we have question and answer. You are welcome to put questions and comments in at any given time. Please stay on the topic. Today's party is brought to you by Nom de Hum, a curator group. If you have your own special interest group, if you happen to be an entrepreneur, if you have a product or a service that you would like to offer and start making interconnections with global clients, if you're ready to expand not just from your community, but also to your city, also to your state, also to your country, also to nearby and neighboring countries, even other places outside of that span, what would take 3 or 4 hours to fly just on a plane, 8 hours to fly on a plane, still be able to reach them instantaneously. That's what you're holding in your hands when you're looking at your phone, when you're looking at your tablet. That's what you paid for when you have that 64-inch plus flat screen TV. You have a tool in front of you that can be a means to help you start building your livelihood. What are those squiggly lines that you're seeing on the screen? That's a picture that I drew in 2008. 18 years ago. That's a picture of me sitting in the living room. Well, actually, no, I'm standing behind a chair, looking at a shelf with the comic books on the shelf. You might see something that looks like hardbound books, and that's because that's the way I had to draw them to represent them. They were actually in the same format as what this is right here. They were all composition notebooks. In my mind's eye, they were hardbound manga where the storyboards were actually filled in. And if a person wanted to, they could line up the pictures and make an animated film. Mafia Soy Publications represents 9 different volumes. Mafia Files has 9 different folders, according to this illustration. that's from 2008. Jeremiah Smith, uh, Parker Productions, Mila, I see you all. Charles Flanco, I see you. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for being here. TikTok AI says a discussion on entrepreneurship and global connections. Share your businesses and ideas. Hannah Tremel, bienvenido, welcome. Thank you for being here. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. So we get together to speak on 10 different special interest groups. Today is the third day out of the week. So it falls upon Namdehum. There's a mad rush to get people to record music and then upload it, get it distributed, and pushed, because people are out to get a mad grab for the bag, thinking that if you play the right song, have the right hit, it's going to go viral just the same way as if you have that right mix in your video and that short clip, it can go viral. There was a time where a person wasn't trying to go viral. They were trying to make sure that their message was heard. There's only so many people who live on the planet. So if each one at least heard the message, you're doing something. If you sold an album, you're doing something. If you sold a single 45-inch record with the option of 2 songs, one on each side, you were doing something. If you sold an 8-track tape, 8 tracks are on it, you were doing something. If there were 1 million copies sold, you were doing something. Because you might have 100 million plays, depending upon how many radio stations had that song in rotation. There's a big hype going on right now about how artists are not being paid by certain streaming platforms. Well, no. You can't expect to get $1 million from a song being played, even if it has been played 1 million times. Who thinks that just hearing their song is worth $1 every time someone plays it? Now, let's say a person does like it and they want to invest in that person, they want to download it. It's worth someone paying $1 to download a song. Then you even have an option. You can download it from whatever familiar site you know, or the artist might be available for you $1 for the song right then and there. Now, why do I say that? Because when you go to the barber, you pay the barber after they trim you up and you leave the chair. Even when you walk by someone who's standing on a corner playing a guitar and the case is in front of them, you put some money inside of the case to show appreciation. How many people get just as thoroughly entertained and possibly informed by scrolling through and catching social media, yet they never stop to show appreciation? I say it all the time. I can't eat likes. I can't eat shares. Can't pay a phone bill that way. Can't sustain a livelihood with likes and shares. If you put me to work, I would appreciate expending that energy and time. Now you might ask, what is my line of work? I'm an organic marketing promoter, and simultaneously, I publish what I produce. The music that you hear in the background, the videos that you see, those instrumentals are composed by me. The lyrics that you hear, I wrote them and recorded them. I mixed the track. I lined it up with the images that are there. Yes, it might have been an AI rendered image. I'm the one that told the AI what to do with it. I'm the one that said how to put it together. I didn't tell the AI, make a story for me. I developed a story in my head. That's how I use myself as a vessel. And I am limited to 2 phones. This is not being done with a tablet or a laptop. The content that you see coming from me is coming from 2 phones. Now imagine if I'm doing this just from concepts inside of my head. If you were to tell me, well, I like this style and I want this, and I want you to talk about a certain subject, I'm not going to tell you that I've covered every subject under the sun. However, I will tell you that, yes, I'm quite familiar with quite a few different things. So if I say, yes, I can make you a customized video set to your taste, that's exactly what you will receive. And it doesn't have to be a first run. I can show you examples, and if that's not what you want, then we can fix it before we present it to the public. That's what I do. So if I told you a 60-second video cost $60, a dollar per second, excuse me, it's because each one of those seconds count. The work will be evident. What you see on TikTok, what you see on YouTube is also seen on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, WordPress, LinkedIn, YouTube. I said YouTube. Clapper, Tumblr. That's just to name some that I use on a regular basis. That's not all the ones I have access to. And you all have access to all of them too. You just haven't reached out to do it. Archie, Sunshine, Blazing, Hair Game Bad. Interesting name. Lucy Foster, Nina, Judy Kassim. I see you all. Thank you for being here. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Grunge Kitty, I see you. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Today's party is brought to you by Nam Dehun, a curator group responsible for digital content placement and publishing. This is not pay me $100 and I'll put you on a playlist on Spotify, guaranteed to get 1,000 views. No, that's not what this is. This is, if you send me $30, I will generate 30 pictures and place a picture up, one different picture per day, promoting you. Now that's on one platform. I just listed off about 9 that I use. Let's say you want to start with 3 of them, or 1. One, you get 1 picture per day for 30 days. 3, that turns into 90 instead of $30. 3 platforms. If you're in a business, then you're looking at what you're going to do for advertising. You can go to social media platforms and they'll tell you spend $10 and we'll put you in front of 1,000 people. Is that going to be 1,000 people who are actually going to come back and be interested in your service? That's where organic marketing comes in. I'm not going to guarantee you that I'm going to put you in front of 1,000 people. What I will tell you is that we will place you in front of people who are interested. Some of my content might get 5 views for 48 days. Some of my content gets 1,000 views in less than 10 hours. I don't go by views, I go by reach. I look to see who is watching. I look to see what does get picked up on, which ones of the content are in high views, what subject was I talking about. A curator knows everything that's going on inside of the museum because the curator is the general manager of that museum. Every exhibit out there, the curator knows about the artist, the curator knows about the materials that were used. The curator can tell you what was the inspiration because the curator actually spoke with the artist before anything was set up for display. A working knowledge. So when you have a group of individuals who are working together as a team to make a product, when it gets turned in, you will see the evidence of the work. 3 people can accomplish way more as one unit than 3 people individually. I've been a part of a lot of teams, and there's been a very few that actually stuck together and had something valid and beneficial at the end of it to where we even wanted to come back together and try again. I see love being sent in the room. I want to thank you. And there's been some more people come in. Let's see here. Sixer, Dave 1T, Linda Thomas, Joy to the World, SBG Cook 67, Juju, Kai. Thanks for the likes, Kai. Tada. Shukran. Shante. Gracias. Grazie. Molto grazie. Spasibo. Thank you, Kai. Hashim Yahav Alahim. Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you all for being here at the party. Today's party is brought to you by Nam De Hum, a curator group. Have you ever considered self-promotion? Because if you happen to be an entrepreneur, there's a lot of things that you figure out DIY, do it yourself. For those of you who say that you don't have the time or you don't have the finances, well, the same way that I offer to promote your special services, your special group, whatever your product may happen to be. The same way I offer to promote you, I make myself available as a consultant, as a tutor. Anything that I do, I'm going to show you every step of the way. Those where you pick out your favorite picture and then leave me to it. No, it should be to the point to where after 30 days, not only do you know how to post up to 3 different social media sites within the span of 20 minutes after you've put together whatever picture or video that you want to do, it takes less than 20 minutes to upload. It's the given amount of time that it takes for it to actually upload your content. That's all. When you say you don't have time, how much time are you using just scrolling through watching things and burning up time? You can watch 3 videos and you've burnt up 7 minutes. By the time you've watched 3 videos, I've uploaded to 2 or 3 different sites a 2-minute video. Coco, Angela Kaufman, I see you. And then over in YouTube, we have a couple of visitors. Blue, I see you. And Dear Lawn XXX. I can't quite make out that name. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for being here. And Blue, thank you. I see where you say this picture looks cool. Just to give you a reference, this is actually a bookshelf, and these are books. That's a cabinet door. This is a high back chair. This is how old school this is. This is a 3 to 5 disc CD changer. That picture was drawn back in 2008. These books on the shelf represent the different comic books or mafia files presented by Mafia Soy Publications. That would be considered a library. Some of those books have been slightly converted into digital format. None of them have been completely done so. A couple of them have been set up as a director's cut for film. None of them have been completed in the process. Mafia Soy Publications itself as an entity has been around since 1999. Nom de Hoom has been around more than 10 years. However, it's been active only recently in the last 3 to 4 years. Or it's been reactivated, I'll say. You have Highest Heights Studio, which is an umbrella for all of these different groups that I'm telling you about. Ingrid Mihefa, I see you. It's Domo. Jared Sanders. I see you all. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. When you work on a team, it's evident who has put forth effort and work. Because if you have a team of 5 people, you're not expecting 5 people with the exact same strengths to show up. If you put together a team of 5 people, it would be beneficial to have 5 different talents to work out a scenario. Jay Bird, I see you. I'm trying to see the name that's over in YouTube land. It's a whole bunch of letters. I can't quite make it out. Her child of church. Hmm? Achim Yahav Alahim, Shalom Ad Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. It goes for everybody here. We get together 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Friday, to discuss ethics and entrepreneurship. We do have a focus in a battle against ignorance and indifference. When you fight ignorance, you teach someone some knowledge, and then you show them how to apply it. That's how you defeat ignorance. Well, how do you defeat indifference? Indifference is a battle within self. That depression that you feel, that anxiety that you feel, I'm not telling you that that comes from self. No, that comes from the stress of dealing with our shared reality. We feel depressed. We feel anxious when we have to step out of our comfort zone and deal with the unknown, the uncontrollable, erratic, unexpected, random activity of the next human being. When you greet someone, you never know what is going on with them. You never know what energy they may have. There are some people in our life that we're thankful to see them because we can expect a positive energy from them. We ask what's wrong when they don't have that about them. That's called empathy and compassion. Now, we feel anxiety and depression when we don't feel that from the majority of people, because that's also an energy and a vibration. Trust will lift a vibration. Enmity will cause anxiety, because if there's distrust, then there's no connection. There's dissonance. The vibration is not harmonic. It feels out of place. There's static. Called static chaos. Well, some can't thrive in chaos. Want to find patterns. There's no patterns in chaos. The only pattern about chaos is it's just going to show up. Some people can't thrive where there is no set pattern. So when we go out into society, we do tend to find those that we find comfort zones with, because then we can move from one positive vibration to the next, seeking like friends. But when you go to those activities, how often do you say, okay, well, yes, I am networking. How about we do something that is not asked of us because the boss said do it on the clock? How about the actual clock that's ticking is how many rotations I have on this planet that's rotating around a star thus rotating in a galaxy, thus rotating in the cosmos. Now, how much time do I have to put in some activities and turn those in? Nom de whom comes from the phrase nom de plume. Nom de plume is name of pen, your pen name, your authorship name. They say when you are saved, salvaged, you are repurposed. Some are even renamed because your purpose is your authority or your shem or your name. Name of whom? Shem of whom? Are you willing to step into a name and authority and claim self accountability for the type of talents that you actually possess, that you could be offering to the public, something beneficial? I'm not talking about dancing. I'm not talking about singing. I'm not talking about rapping. Unless you have 13 lines rhyming, talking about current times and what we can do with the social issues, I really don't want to hear it. So, no, I'm not looking for rappers and singers and dancers. I'm looking for builders and educators and nurturers. Let's talk about now. NOW. Nurture our world. Let's talk about soon. Something out of nothing. We were all born with unique talent. Each one of us can do things that the other person can't. There are some things that we can turn out with our hands, given the proper materials and products, that other people would be mystified. How did you do that? It's just something I know how to do. Use that to benefit other people. Trade that for your livelihood. Use that to build a legacy. How many legacies have been built reporting to a 9 to 5? The company that is responsible for placing you in the 9 to 5 has a legacy. More than likely, you're paying rent to either a landlord or a lease management company that has a legacy. More than likely, you're paying a car note to a car dealership owned through some families. They have a legacy. What's your legacy? What's your talent? Have you ever really sat down to write your best resume? People tell you to lie on your resume, but that only gets you so far. Because then when people start asking you to show and prove, and you can't show and prove, they want to ask you, when you went to school, did you just sit on the books? Did you learn through osmosis? It just kind of seeped through your pores. Information just kind of absorbed through your skin. And for some reason, you never used your fingers in it. Now, kind of stuck in the middle. What happened? So, no, I'm not talking about lying on a resume. Write your best resume. Identify yourself. Who are you? Your government name, your new life, new walk name, address. Where do you live? Where do you reside? How to contact you. Do you have a cellular device? Do you use email? Do you have a website? Put the link on there. See, that's all really first page to the cover of your business proposal. You could have 7 pages and they're not full printed out line by line. Your first page only has 4 or 5 lines worth of information. Who are you? If you turned in a resume to someone, you don't just turn in 1 or 2 sheets of paper. You can put a cover page on that. Then you go into description. You give a short summary of who you are. You identify yourself. Then after that, you talk about places you've gone to learn the skills that you know, to gain your intelligence level, what you know in literacy compared to what you know in hands-on training and past experience. Then you talk about the accomplishments that you've done while using those skills. You don't have to put down 10 references of people who would vouch for you. Put down 10 references of things that you've done, whether it was something that improved you and your lot in life, or if it was for other groups, other individuals. How can you prove that you were beneficial to others? Then you put down your expectations. What type of capacity do you want to fulfill? What do you want to spend your time doing? If you woke up, opened your eyes, started your day, what would you prefer doing until you close the day? Knowing that you actually were top productivity that day, to the point where no, you weren't stressed out and your hair was pulled out. You felt great even though you were at full capacity. What do you know that is something out there that you would like to be doing? You know that you can do and you can help other people. See, that's what should be on your resume. You shouldn't be writing a resume to fit just because someone said they're hiring. I know one employer who is hiring all of the time. And you don't have to bend your resume. You don't have to lie on your resume. You have to tell the truth. And you have to go forth and do your resume. Why? Because after you write your best resume, oh, you're going to fire your boss. And once you fire your boss, you're going to hire yourself out. You tell one, tell all. This is the product that I provide. This is the service that I provide. What's my mission? To make sure that I'm beneficial to my neighbor, my community, my city, my county, my district, my state, my nation, my country, my region, my planet, my maker. Write your best resume. Fire your boss. And then hire yourself out to be of service. That's ethics in entrepreneurship, because then you have to stand on your own accountability. There's no check on Friday to fall back on. There's no 10 hours to stand around for 3 hours. Every day that you open your eyes, you are responsible for what the world knows about your product or your service. You might be excellent at your product or your service. However, you're not that great at letting the world know about it. Well, that's where a promoter comes in. That's where a publisher comes in. You let me know what it is that you do, I'll make sure that the world knows about you. Why? Because we're supposed to be showing a certain standard to all four corners of this planet. Which means flat? No. There's four directions: north, south, east, and west. The same way that there's a concept of time on this planet, there's a concept of direction on this planet. It does not hold outside of this planet. North, south, east, and west is not the same thing on the moon. Time is not the same thing on the moon. The moon spins at a different speed. Likewise for Mars and Venus and whatever celestial bodies that happen to orbit them. We're taking an intermission. It's time to prove my humanity. All right, we got the green check. Today's party is brought to you by the group Namde Hum, a curator service. If you're a bricklayer, if you clean homes, if you're a lawn manicurist, if you know how to grow herbs in gardens along with other vegetation, if you are an at-home sitter with the elderly or those who are shut in, if you are someone who offers homeschooling services, networking, we are looking for those who do not want to use these different departments and programs that are being shut down. We want to use our own. We want to find places where we can trust. It's not about voting for someone to find out who is less corrupt. Votes don't count. Activity does. You don't see politicians coming and knocking on your door asking you, what can I do for you specifically? And do you happen to know what's going on with your neighbor? No, you and your neighbor have a conversation and exchange what needs to be done. What happens when you go knocking on the politician's door, whether it's there at their office or if you go to their house and let them know about some problems that you have? They want to escort you off the property. So apparently, no, that is not the answer. The problems that you have, they're sitting in an ivory tower unconcerned. Until you prove that you have the power of corporation, like those companies, those districts and cities, states, and nations have, when you show that you have corporate power, they'll listen because they are lobbyists. They stand in the lobby waiting for those who will be their benefactors to tell them what they need to represent. So you can either go visit the lobby or you can go ahead and take care of the issues and learn to dismiss those who are not showing evidence of work. If it's supposed to be a team, then our team shouldn't just be sitting on the sidelines complaining. Need a new coach. Need a new team manager. I know of one that's hiring all the time, has one standard that doesn't change, develop the only playbook that's necessary. Minister Morel, I see you. It's very proud to have you here. Familiar name and face. Naomi Hamilton, I see you. JA369, Dream Girl, Bree Lover, One Perspective, Kaden, Nunya, Nepo, C Pickle, Chrissy, Renee, Cynthia Moore, Austin. See you all. Thank you for being here. Hashem Yahav Alahim, Shalom, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I see you out. So you're listening and toiling. It's going to come a time, inshallah, Don willing, there's going to come a time where I'm going to call upon your name and another that I know so that you all can be keeping your eye on the pavement for a different cause. One mind, one cause, right? One mind, one common cause. If we all had our lines of entrepreneurship, if we all had our lines of entrepreneurship up, we would still have to network how we traffic our goods. People line up to do 9-to-5s all the time, to be drivers, deliverers. I go into establishments, I see more Uber drivers than I do just a regular patron coming in to buy a product. It's amazing. People looking at me, scratching their head, trying to figure out why am I sitting there for longer than 30 minutes. I'm enjoying myself, that's why. I don't have to rush off somewhere. I'm having my coffee break at my home office. This is Nomad Studio. In a minute, I'm going to get up and leave and go somewhere else and do something different. I don't have to sit in one spot. My life is completely different than what other people are dealing with. I see them in a whole different perspective and them likewise. I'm an oddity out the corner of their eye, and when they come to speak with me, at most times, I'm still an oddity when they leave. Because some say step outside of the box, I say there was no box to begin with. You've seen the movie, Bend the Spoon. It's impossible. Well, first you have to remember there is no spoon. I'm not telling you we're caught up in a matrix. I'm not that guy. I know there's a shared reality that we're all in. I know that I've shed blood in this reality. I know that I've gone out of consciousness and back into consciousness. I know that I've suffered wounds. I know that I have had joy. I've felt love. I've felt hatred. There are things I'm ignorant to. There's things that I have high intelligence levels to. There are people I am very close to. There's other people where it hurts my heart that I have to keep them at the distance of a 10-yard stick. My heart goes out to all of creation. However, I'm guarded. There are certain things you will hear me say on this public network, Web2, Google, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. There's a few things you'll hear me say on Web2. However, if you really want to hear me speak freely and show you some things, I invite you to visit with me on Discord. You've seen the name Angelic Discipline. I also use 3PROJH, 3P Roche. On Discord, you will find me at 3PROJH. It's a place where we can actually have video conferences, because I don't invite debates. I'm not here to debate with anybody. I'm not here to argue with anybody. I'm not here to make a plan about making a plan to make a plan. I'm here to put a plan into action. In order for something to be repurposed, first you say what it is. Okay, this is what you are. And once you've given it that definition, you use it for that purpose. This is not just an object that gets to run around saying, I am this, I'm a bucket. Okay, you're a bucket, and here I come, and I want to dip you into this stream of water, and you say, no, 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 no. I'm a bucket. And I say, yeah, so I'm gonna dip you into the stream of water. No, no, no. Well, why can't I dip you in the stream of water? Well, might be too cold. You might overfill me. I might not be able to contain it all. But you said you were a bucket. I need you to be a bucket right now, not later. I need you to test yourself right now. Be that bucket. I'm going to dip you in this water because I got to put out this fire. I don't need you complaining about a stress test. We will both be relieved of stress when this fire is out. As a matter of fact, whatever's on the other side of that fire, everybody on that situation is going to be less stressed as well. So quit your crying. I'm going to dip you in this water. Now, you all can take that wherever you want. And I'm serious about that. You can take that wherever you want. My point is this. There are some people who show up in your life and they give you lip service. Oh, I'm about this and I'm about that, and I do this and I do that. Until you actually put their heels to the heat. I'm a walking, talking, living stress test. I wasn't the child that asked why 8 times. I wasn't even the child that's going to ask you why is certain things certain ways 8 times. If I ask you the first time, it's because I've already looked it up and I just want to see what somebody else had to say about it. Even as a child, because I'm observant. I'm watching everything. I'm watching because I'm looking for teammates. When I was brought into this world, there were certain things planted into my brain that I knew I was supposed to accomplish. Because every time I looked up, I would see certain things and I would say, that looks great, but it's not helping my people enough. Oh, that's great, but my people don't even get a chance to partake in that. That over there, everybody wants to talk about that. I really don't care about it, but it's dragging my people over there. Well, what can I do about that? Well, you go find the greatest influence and you see what you can do about jumping in the mix of that influence. People like music. People like flashy images. People like culture. People like inclusion. Okay. So what if we had a network that included culture that was us? Jazzy, bluesy, hip hop, classic, acapella, sitting by a fire underneath the stars, banging sticks on rocks. people not taking advantage of the next person just because they want to make a profit. People genuinely wanting to spend time with each other. I've seen it. I've seen it scattered in different places. I remember when it used to happen on the block in the 80s. One of my devices is saying that we're at 10%. We've pushed the hour mark. The other device is actually at 10% as well. I want to thank you all for being here. We've been talking about Namdehum. Today's party was a discussion on the evidence of work is there when the team turns in the group project. Namdehum is a curator group. The content that you upload on these social media sites is like your resume, because a person can go and look and see what you want to tell the world. This is what I do. This is what I think. Yes, you tell on yourself and you didn't even know it. You can take that positively or negatively. But either way, yes, your content tells the world what it is. That's your message. When you tell everybody that you have been saved and you're salvaged and renamed and all of that, okay. Show us the work that you've been doing under that authority. Akati Mavis, I see you. Familiar name and face. Very to have you here. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalamat Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray that you're still safe in your travels. I think that says Riri and Daryl. Somebody on point Kong. Okay. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalamat Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for being here. Ausu bilahi mina shaitan arajim. We seek the protection of our Creator against shaitan and the evil ways while we walk the divine path. Ameen. Inshallah, ya Allah, yubarik aluma wa sakaba. By the will of our Father. Oh, Father, please bless and heal the family and community of believers. Rabbi wa rahmani wa jbani wa fani. Warzukni, Wadini, Wafini. Allahu Akbar. Oh, great Rabbi, great teacher. Please grant us sustenance and strength as we gain stature while traveling the divine path. Please forgive us when we make wrong choices, and thank you for showing us the divine path. All praises to our Father. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ameen. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Please remember, you all, kindness is contagious. When you see someone in need, don't walk up asking them if they need something. If you have the wherewithal, give it to them. If you don't, find someone who does. And if you can't do that, just leave them alone. It takes empathy to sense that someone needs. It takes compassion to reach out and do it. That is the activity of love. Yahava Ahaba. Our Creator is love. Our Father is love. Abba. Ahaba. Our Father is love. When you're walking through a door or you walk up to a door and someone's about to come through it, open the door and let them come through. Hold it for them. someone's about to cross your path while you're walking, or even if you're in a vehicle, allow them to go through, unless it's going to cause some kind of issue with traffic. But if you're just moseying along, let them go. When you see someone carrying a package, open up your arms just big enough to take the package away, carry it for them. And then when you get to wherever they need that package to be, place it there, turn around, open your arms just as big as you had for that package, and grab that person, hug them. Hug them for at least 30 seconds. It's going to release an endorphin that will grant both of you a feeling of happiness that people pay for in a pill form, when all it takes is an act of kindness and an embrace, showing that you care. I bid you all to have a great day, and go find someone else and make sure they're having a great day too. Go out there and be the reason someone else has a smile on their face. Till next time, inshallah, let's meet together again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to visiting with you all again. Many much love and respect.